Hello, welcome to Disney Delights. This week we are talking about Treasure Planet, and I'm joined by my good friend Robbie. How you doing?
Hello, Josh.
Hello. So, like I said, we were talking about Treasure Planet. Now, let's begin with the question. So, Treasure Planet obviously was a public domain story based on Robert Louis Stevenson, and they took Treasure Island and they made it sci-fi. So, if you could take any public domain story and change the genre, what would you do?
That's a good question. This was also one of my friend's ideas as well, and I think it's a good idea that works. Let's have a modern day Robin Hood like Sherlock.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Closest thing we had to that was that one Doctor Who episode where it was kind of steampunk Robin Hood. So the
Yes,
Robot and Sherwood episode, something kind of like that. I think it would be cool to see Wizard of Oz as kind of a steampunk dystopia because you already have the Tin
yes,
Man, so it's already kind of like that. So we're going to see Wizard of Oz kind of do like that.
yes. That
Yeah.
could work. That could work. And
Unfortunately, unfortunately, the new trend is public domain and equals horror now because now we have Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and then we've got Mickey's Mousetrap coming out now. We've got a bunch of other public domain horror things. So, unfortunately, that's the trend. So maybe don't do horror public domain.
if you do it right,
Yeah, I don't know, but nobody's figured out how to do that yet. So, what I heard, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was absolutely terrible.
yes. But on the subject of steampunk, Treasure Planet has a bit of steampunk in it.
It does. It does. Obviously, this movie takes place far, far, far into the future. Like I saw a thing where it's like every year that every Disney movie takes place. It was like this one takes place in the 20th century, this takes place in the 15th century. Treasure Planet was the one that takes place furthest into the future because it doesn't give you a
Yeah.
specific year, but it's very clearly the future. Now, in some
Yes.
ways, it is a bit dated though, because Jim Hawkins was modeled after Tony Hawk, who was
Nice.
a very popular skater in the early 2000s when this movie came out. So a lot of the stuff about like skateboarding and stuff, not really as popular as it was. So in some ways, you kind of see the datedness of it. This movie came out in 2002, but it's still very
Yes. Yes, I remember seeing this in the cinema.
yes. So do I. And I didn't get the Star Trek reference at the time. The thing in Jim, I'm not a doctor. Well, I am a doctor, but I have a doctorate. I'm not a medical doctor. I didn't get why everybody was cracking up because I didn't understand that it was a Star Trek reference. But now that I understand that, it's a lot funnier.
It is a funny movie.
Yes. Yeah. Especially we got Martin Short as Ben the Robot.
Yes, yes. If they ever do a remake of this film, I want Martin Short back as the robot.
Yeah. Well, technically, Disney has made Treasure Island like 4 times because we have the old one from I think the 50s or the 60s. Then we have the Muppets version.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we have the Muppets version, and now we have this one. So
yes. Yes. I really love the animation style in this because it's unique, and at the time it was amazing how they blended 3D and 2D together.
yeah, it was. And, yeah, because it also had Titan AE kind of feel to it as well. It reminds me a little bit of Titan AE, which only came out a couple years before this did.
Yes.
So you can tell it was modeled after that one. So, though I think in some ways the mixing of the 2D and 3D is kind of what killed it because it was a lot of money to do that. And it did not make as much money as they thought it was going to, which is also why it kind of killed the 2D animation form for a while for Disney.
That's upsetting because I think it's an interesting film. I remember it being a hit, and when I got it on DVD, I watched it like every day.
Yeah, I do like that they experimented with different animation styles. It's kind of cool that they have all these different aliens in it. My favorite alien in this has to be Morph, just because he's so cute.
Morph's great. Morph is
really cute. I remember having a McDonald's toy of Morph that was kind of a squeaky toy. So
Yes. Yes. One of my favourite scenes in this is when like they're going past like those whales, and one of the whales put he kind of spit out some water and it lands on his head.
Yeah, that seems gross, but it's kind of funny. But they did a good job of Silver, because he's not really a hero, but he's also not really a villain. And you think for like most of the movie he's a villain, but maybe he's lying. Maybe he actually is on Jim's side. They did a really good job of writing Long John Silver in this. It's kind of cool how he's a cyborg in this, because you have like Captain Hook with the hook, but no, you have a guy who is robot arm and robot legs, and they mix this 2D into 3D with that really well as well.
They modelled Long John Silver on Captain Hook.
Yeah, I saw that on the DVD that they did that.
Yes. I've not seen the actor in anything else who voices Long John Silver. His name's Brian Murray.
Yeah.
You have not seen him in anything else.
Well,
but the most famous actor in this is Emma Thompson, who's Trelawney from the Harry Potter films.
Yeah, and among many other things as well. It's funny how she's a cat, the captain's a cat, the doctor's a dog.
Yes. Yeah. And they have mixed breed puppies.
Yeah.
Pittons. We'll call them Pittons.
Dog kittens. Although, are they really dog? I mean, they're aliens, so.
Yes, and obviously also, the Doctor, David Hyde Pierce.
Jim's mom in this is also Andy's mom in the Toy Story movies.
Yes, and she was in the last film we spoke about, Meet the Robinsons.
That's right, she was.
Yes, she's always playing mums.
Yeah. I think Jim has a really good character arc in this, because he starts out as kind of a devil-may-care, juvenile, delinquent, and then over time he becomes less and less selfish as the movie goes on and starts to actually care about other people. So I think Jim was actually a really well-written character, as was Silver as well.
Yeah, Silver was. He had a good redemption at the end.
Yeah. The only really true villain in this movie was the crab spider. That kills the rock monster alien. So.
Yeah, he kills Mr. Arrow. It's Michael Wincoat, he often plays villains because he's the villain in The Crow, and he's the cinematographer in the film Nope as well. Yeah, he's in one of the Alien movies.
Yeah, all the aliens in this movie are really creative. They're really fun. They did a great job of taking the concept of treasure but setting it in space. They had a lot of creativity and fun with this.
You're about to say they have an alien who's just a head, an alien who's just a torso.
Yeah.
Even the design on Captain Flint, he is scary.
Oh yeah. Even though he's a skeleton. Well, I mean, that's not at the beginning, but yeah, he's really well done. I wish we had gotten more of Captain Flint, though. I wish that we had seen more of him. Maybe make him the main villain. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yes. This all starts.
Was there a treasure planet world in Kingdom Hearts? Was there ever a treasure planet world?
I'm not sure. I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I've tried to play it, but it's really, really hard. I don't think there is a treasure planet world in Kingdom Hearts. No. I would like to see a Kingdom Hearts level of treasure planet.
No, this movie's kind of got forgotten about really quickly, and I'm kind of hoping that it's kind of gotten a resurgence now.
Yeah, I don't know why it was forgotten about. It was a pretty. Well, I don't know if it was a pretty big hit when it came out, but it did pretty well. Like I remember seeing it, the theater was full when I went to see it. So
it made 109.6 million over a budget of 140 million. Did not make a profit.
Oh no! Yeah, and I blame that on the animation. I blame that on them trying to mix the CG with the 2D. That probably is what killed it.
even though it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it's a really creative design. So I've recently watched Wish, and it just felt like they didn't put any effort into the animation, or just tried to make it look like Spider-Verse.
Yeah, well, I thought the
And you see if
animation Wish was kind of good though, because it looked like stained glass window paintings, kind of. They looked kind of like glass figurines. Have you seen Fantasia 2000?
no, I have not.
Okay, in Fantasia 2000, there's a segment that is sort of like the Nutcracker. There's like this ballerina doll thing with the animation. It reminded me of that.
What, the animation for this or the animation for Wish?
The animation for Wish. The animation for
Ah.
Wish reminded me of that one part of Fantasia 2000.
Right. But yeah, I just think this is a very unique concept to kind of take Treasure Island and put it all into this steampunk space adventure and make a good story out of it.
Yeah, they did a really good job of, let's be fair. And there's a lot of Easter eggs to the original Treasure Island as well. Like the name of the ship is the RLS Legacy. Robert Louis Stevenson, who wrote the original Treasure Island. They named the ship after him. Yeah.
I swear the Bembo Inn is based on a real pub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will Google that now because I swear it's an actual pub in the UK.
Although I do think, Secret Treasure Island, I think Tim Curry was really good as Lord John Silver in the Muppet Treasure Island. So
it's in Cornwall, the Bembo Inn.
nice.
Nice, which is one of the counties of the UK.
Very cool.
Yes. James Newton Howard does the score, and I think he does a really good job because normally whenever I hear a score of his, I kind of forget about it, but I don't forget about this one.
Yeah, he did a really good job with the score in this. And the songs in this are also really great. I mean, it's not a musical, it's more like the Phil Collins songs in Tarzan, where it's sort of the narration of the main character, but done in the song.
Yes. How can people don't rave about this soundtrack as well as they do with the Phil Collins one?
I don't know. Because again, people
mind you, there's only two songs. One that plays like in the middle and one that plays at the end. So yeah, most of it is just score work.
Yeah. But they did a good job with it though.
Oh, they did. They did a fantastic job. Did you see Lilo and Stitch when it came out too?
Yes. For a while, it was my favorite Disney movie ever. So that was the movie I was more obsessed with instead of this one. But yeah.
I was more obsessed with this one because I liked sci-fi and stuff. I was into Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, Lilo and Stitch is sci-fi, technically.
Yes. Oh yeah, and I do love that one, but I didn't have that one on DVD where I had this one.
I have Lilo and Stitch on Blu-ray as well, so.
I believe this is the first time I heard Joseph Gordon-Levitt's name.
Yeah. And he's gone on to do so much now because he was in Dark Knight Rises. He's been in a few other things since then. He was Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe, which I thought was going to be weird casting, but he did a great job at that. So.
Yeah. I like 500 Days of Summer with him.
I haven't seen that, but I know the director is the same guy that did the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yes, and sorry to keep bringing up Ghibli, but he's also in The Wind Rises.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, sorry to keep bringing it up. You don't need to keep bringing it up. You don't need to apologize for that.
And yeah, he was. Oh yeah, and he managed to voice Jim again in the Disney short.
Yeah.
I think he was a bit miscast as Jiminy Cricket.
What?
I think he was miscast. Miscast as Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, in the Pinocchio movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And he's also the voice of the clock in Glass Onion, the one that goes dong.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I liked Glass Onion.
So do I. Great movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish this movie got a bit more love at the time. I wish it gets more love now.
They were supposed to do a sequel at some point. It was going to be one of those direct-to-video sequels, but luckily we never got that. So it didn't destroy the legacy of this one. So
yeah, so I didn't like the Atlantis one.
Yeah, well, the Atlantis one was actually a pilot for a TV series they were supposed to do, and I think that could have had potential had they actually decided to go through with that and make a TV series. It would have been like Scooby-Doo, sort of. Would have been more like that. I think that could have worked.
Yeah.
I liked what they gave us with the video sequel. I think if they expanded it into a full show, that would have worked.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. What else is there to talk about with this movie? The directors also have worked on Great Mouse Detective, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Princess and the Frog, and Moana. So they both know what they're doing. John Musker and Ron Clements.
Yeah. Yeah, they've worked on a lot of great ones. In fact, I think Great Mouse Detective, if we're going back to the 2D, 3D thing, I think that was actually one of the first, if not the first, animated film to mix 2D and 3D with the clock tower at the end.
Yes.
The final battle. So, yeah.
That's a great scene.
Great Mouse Detective is also a movie that a lot of people will talk about. So we'll have to talk about that at some point in the show. So.
Yes, we will. We will have to talk about that one. But yeah, this lost best animated film to Spirited Away.
Yeah, what were the nominees that year? It was Treasure Planet, Lilo and Stitch, Spirited Away,
and Ice Age.
Ice Age. Yeah, I think Lilo and Stitch was the best out of those. Category.
The thing is, Spirited Away, it says on IMDb it's 2001, so I kind of would put it in its own category.
Yeah. I think it was released in the US in 2002. I think it came out in Japan in 2001, like late 2001, and then it got released in 2002 for the US.
Yeah, that makes
US release date.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think Disney bought out at the time. Disney owned Ghibli, and I think they were kind of waiting for distribution for that. They don't own Ghibli anymore now. I think it's on HBO Max now. So
it's weird because all five of them are fantastic.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna have to say Ice Age is the weakest of the 5.
It is. I still like Ice Age though.
So. I like Ice Age, but in terms of animation and plot, it's 5. I mean, I haven't seen Spirit since I was little, but I would like to watch it again because I know it's also.
Oh, I really like it. I talked about that for DreamWorks a couple years ago. And they said that it's actually one of my favorite DreamWorks movies because the score of that movie is so good. Stay away from the sequel, though. Don't watch Spirit Riding Free or whatever the sequel is called, because that one's
does Hans Zimmer is Hans Zimmer not involved? That's probably why the score is so good.
He's not. He's not. The first one was a Western. The second one was just generic horse girl movie, and it was boring. So.
Right. That sounds like a big decline.
It was a huge decline. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, this would be like if they did do a sequel and it was about running a pub in a futuristic world.
That would be kind of cool, actually. I mean, all the aliens that we see in the pub are all the aliens that we see in the pub are actually really creative. So I'd like to see more of those.
Oh yes, I like the one where the little girl walks up to him and eats his food.
The little frog, little girl.
Yeah. No, I think this film is really creative. Yeah, and you got obviously Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing the hero, Lon John Silver's the villain, David Hyde Pierce and Emma Thompson.
He's not really a villain. I think we established Long John Silver's not really a villain. He's more a misunderstood hero. The villain is kind of the role he's kind of having to play, and I think he does get a redemption. The true villain in this is Scroop.
Yeah, Scroop is the villain, and he's played by a great villain actor, of course. And yeah, Martin Short provides the comedy as well as helps alongside two acting legends, David Hyde Pierce and Emma Thompson.
Yes. Okay, let's see what the Rotten Tomatoes score for this was. So now I'm curious because we said with the Robinsons that got like a barely fresh, that got like a 67 or something. And I was like, what? How could they? So let's see what Treasure Planet ended up getting.
Letterboxd gives it 3.8 out of 5.
Treasure Planet has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is like a C. That means it was average. So shame on the critics. I think, yeah.
What did
the animation? No, the audience score is much better. The audience score is a 72. So apparently, both the tomato meter and the audience score both say the movie's just kind of okay, which I don't think is fair.
I don't think it's fair. Clearly, not a lot of people watched this movie.
Yeah, what was the Letterboxd average score for this one?
3.8
out of 5.
Yeah, 5.
That's pretty solid, actually. That's almost a 4. So I think that is a little bit more fair.
I normally see that when Letterboxd rates films, it's more accurate compared to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So I don't think there are a lot of problems with this movie at all. I can't really think of any off the top of my head when I was rewatching it. Like, ooh, they could have done that better. There's not really any problems. I don't really have any problems with this movie.
No, I don't. 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
2 out of 10?
7.2 out of 10.
7.2 out of 10. Yeah, that's the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes as well. So that's a 72. So it's the same audience score on AMDb score. Again, why is it just considered so average?
The film took 10 years to make.
It took 10
years.
I'm just
reading the IMDb facts.
Yeah. I think another thing that killed this movie was it came out just a couple weeks after Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which obviously Harry Potter is massively popular. So I think that is probably also what killed it at the box office. Everyone just went to go see Harry Potter instead. So
yeah. If they were to do a sequel, they would have had Willem Dafoe set to voice Ironbeard.
Ironbeard. That sounds really cool. Isn't that the name of the pirate from the Lego movie?
Yes, it is.
The Ron Swanson pirate.
Yes.
That's kind of funny.
Oh, and Emma Thompson was pregnant whilst she was recording her lines.
Aw.
So it's funny how her character has a baby at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the cool bit of how they of like the whole planet being this sort of mechanism to put the map in to lead them to the treasure. I love
also
all that.
The half moon. The half moon. They think is a moon. That is a floating city. That was a creative shot.
That was great. That shot being the spaceport.
Yeah, they did a really good job with the animation in this. So again, it's a shame that they went over budget with it because they did some creative stuff with this movie.
Definitely. I kind of miss this era of Disney where they do like these adventure films, and that's why I preferred Strange Worlds. It kind of brought me back to these kind of movies.
And the last one they had with that for me was Moana. Moana was the last like really good Disney adventure movie for me. Because I didn't get Strange World that much.
Yeah, see, like films like Moana and Strange World, they should make more of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, wasn't the guy we said that the guy that did Moana also did this? So if we can get Ron Clements and Musker to come back to do more stuff.
Give them as much money as they need.
Exactly.
They can make an absolute treasure of a film.
I see what you did there. Yes.
But yes, I also noticed how some scenes in Ahsoka kind of reminded me of this film.
Yes. Oh, there's a book you might like. I know you don't necessarily seem to like to read books, but there is a book that Brandon Sanderson wrote called Trust of the Emerald Sea. It's basically the Princess Bride, but if Buttercup became a pirate. But it is technically set in space, so it is sort of like Treasure Planet a little bit. So
that sounds like a good mix between Treasure Planet and The Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's a really well done book. And it's fairly short. It's only like 300 something pages. So
not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've gone over everything. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope, I'm just mad that nobody remembers this movie.
I am it upsets me that this film isn't as received or as famous as it should be.
Yeah.
People need to start giving this movie a chance.
Yeah, well, it's on Disney Plus, so hopefully people will watch it.
Yes, it's on Disney Plus. If you're watching this, go and watch Treasure Planet and then message me or Josh to say, you're all right, guys, this is a great movie.
Yeah. And next week we're going to talk about a movie that's not so great. It's also a sci-fi movie. It's a movie that was made by the same animation studio that did The Polar Express, the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol movie, Monterey House. And this movie did so poorly that it bankrupted that animation studio. And that movie is Mars Needs Moms. So,
Mars Needs Mums.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I have not, but I will check it out.
Yeah. You'll have to check it out by next week. So that'll be our Disney disasters, because that movie is just garbage. So,
yes.
Even as a kid, I hated it.
Yes. And what's the next delight we're talking about?
Bridge to Terabithia, which you also have not seen. So,
yes.
And like I said, don't Google anything about it because it might get the twist ending spoiled for you. So
yeah, I'll go with an open mind. Well, I'll try and go on with an open mind with these two movies.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Thank you for having me on once again, Josh.
Yep, and I'll see you next week. And maybe Justin, I don't know what his availability is, but he may or may not be on for Mars Needs Moms or Bridge to Terabithia, so we'll see.
Yes. Definitely. All right. Thank you, Josh. See you soon.
Right, thank you.
Bye, guys.